Hey, hello. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Testing. Testing out my new equipment. Testing mic 1, 2. I don't know if y'all can hear me. I'm waiting for somebody to can get. Hey Maya, can you hear me? Hey Stacy, can you hear me on this? Does it sound better? That's a good thing. Makes me excited. I was doing a test run. Thank you, Stacy. Look the microphone, you guys. I'm so excited. Okay. Alrighty. So I decided to come on and just say hello to everybody. My son helped hook this up in my camera, so I don't know. I just figured why not come on live and make sure everything was hooked up right. It sounds good. Y'all like this is my work clothes. I got home from work today and went and got groceries at the store, talked to Jessica for a while. I don't know, just connected. So I wanted to do a mic check. It's a sweater coat. See? My work clothes. So yeah, my son cooked dinner. Classy and sassy, thank you. I'm trying. Like I said, I started my new job. Today was the first day on site, and it's just real interesting. I don't know if y'all realize or not, but Mama D is like writing her own class. I like teach holistic healing and life skills right now. So I am actually writing my own class for them. I'm really happy to be able to do that. It's a lot of fun. What was my favorite thing about today? Remembering what it was like, to be on the other side, I guess, of the fence, because I know what it's like to be, scared and in a new place and not knowing what the future held for me. So just being able to go back and sit on this side of the fence, and just, share a little bit about me and, my story and, where I've come from. And it was just a nice feeling to be able to be where I'm sitting and, reach out to the women and just let them know like there is hope. If I can do it, they can do it. So that was probably my favorite, time of today, is just being thankful and being blessed of how far, my journey and where I've come in all of these years. So that was probably the best, thing. And I had a really surreal moment with Jessica on the phone, and I was like, it's just nice to be a huge part, I feel, of a healing journey for a lot of people out there. So I'm glad to be able to, be the voice of reason and the voice of hope and be, that compassionate person that understands, because I've been where they are and it's really scary, you know? I'm trying. I really feel this is really great. It's an amazing opportunity for me, and I was sharing how there's not any men residential programs that I know of, like single dads out there, who are trying or have custody of their kids and are still trying to recover, from a life of, many different backgrounds. Um, I don't think it's welcome so much today with masculine energies of how it is actually, okay to cry and show emotions and show feelings. So I'm hopefully working on a grant program um to incorporate a residential program for, divine masculines out there that need some healing, and hope and just recovery based programs. So there's definitely a need for women, but I often think that, our dads and our divine masculines out there have, really suffered. Thank you. This is a gift from Stacy, you guys. She got me this camera and this microphone, and I really do appreciate everything. I know that I have a message. I'm very assured of my life journey, and I just can't wait to keep on influencing, people's lives in a major way and just hope to share some, I don't know, some hope, some love, and let the women out there know that it's okay to take charge of their life and do something different. And with the men, I want them to understand that it's okay to embrace, that feminine side in them and just show emotion. I think, like I said, too often the guys are overlooked and people really don't realize that, we have men out here that are also suffering. They've had for so long, to have this image of, strong masculinity. But at the same time, there is a side to that. Like, I don't think that men get to show their emotions because it's viewed as weak and vulnerable. And there's really nothing wrong with being weak and vulnerable if we don't, heal ourselves and show the next generation that's coming up that it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to step into those roles, that they haven't had before. Some of men or like masculine energies didn't have parents around to show them that it was okay, to show emotion. They had to step into a father role or a leading role at such a young age, and they didn't learn how to be in touch with their feelings and emotions. And I just want them, to know that there's nothing more I appreciate as a healed woman than a man that actually, is vulnerable and their emotions are valid, they are worthy. And just to spread the love. And there's nothing, wrong with a man, wrapping their arms around whomever it is they love, whether it's their pets, their parents, their kids, their partners, and say, I love you. I really love you. And when they hurt, we hurt. And, it's shown us signs of weakness and it's not weak. That's actually a very strong attribute is for, masculine energies to be able to share love and emotion. They're supposed to be all hard and, you know, hardcore and whatever. And that's not always true. Sometimes they need to be able to show love and they need to be able to feel love and emotions as well. If they, if we don't do something, then we're raising a next generation that is heartless. They have, grown up to be disconnected. And that's not what, you know, humans are about. We're supposed to be a strength, a strong port, a support system for each other. And there's nothing wrong, with saying or showing someone how much you genuinely care. That's humanity. I feel like we've become so disconnected with like a stigma of the way people should be, and it's very twisted. It's very twisted. I feel like there's a lot of, toxic women. There's a lot of absolutely toxic males out there. Two wrongs don't make a right. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you're sitting on, but two wrongs don't make a right. Hurt people hurt people. And I feel unless we actually come together and learn how to heal and how to show emotion, I'm not saying all hope is lost because you have people like me who's out there, trying to make a difference and change the world. You know, and someone made a really valid point today. These things changed me. And now that I'm healed, I want to go back and help others heal and just connect. Absolutely, Jessica. I do want to be the voice of reason for, those that don't have a voice. I don't know of one residential program in the whole US for men. I know there are 11, I believe, total, and I'd have to check my statistics on that. But there's only 11 residential programs for women who are trying to overcome addiction and actually be allowed to have their children on site. Yes, there's halfway house programs, but we need residential programs. You know, 2 months, 3 months isn't long enough to actually get your life together. I mean, anybody who's been through anything knows that that's not a long period of time. We need more time. We need more programs. We need to extend a helping hand to those that feels there is no hope and like all is lost. No, it's not. All is not lost. But you also have to have somebody like myself who's going to be that voice of reason and stand in and say, hey, we need to put these federal fundings and, the funds that are out there, to better use. Y- I know I didn't learn how to live clean and sober, in 1 month, in 2 months, 3 months. It took me a year at least, to be able to step in and actually feel comfortable in my own skin. So, I'm writing classes and, you know, work. And I'm creating my own forum and things to talk about because in my specific line of work and what I have experience is, you know, the reason people start using and doing, things as we call shadow stuff is because there was a traumatic experience or we were influenced, by our surroundings. And there is a different way. And I want to show them that, hey, there is a different way. There is someone like myself who's going to speak up for you and get you the help that you need so we can heal the society. It says, we start with the person in the mirror. Well, I started with me. I started with, myself. I am, that person in the mirror. So I've learned a lot throughout my life and knowledge and, how what it is like to buckle down and not let the system kick you down and not how to be like a statistic. And I want to break that stigma that we all have, or not that we all have, but what people have. Recovery is real. Look at me. You can recover in life. I mean, I am like the walking textbook of a person, that shows it can be done with the right love and the right support and the right teachings. We can do this. We absolutely can do this. We can create a better world. So that's what Mama D is about. Is healing, trying to create a better world. If there's funds out there, then I want to find it and I want to secure a safe haven, a safe place, a new beginning. I've told, people today that, the journey of 1,000 footsteps begins with one footstep. It really does. That's creating, like I shared the other day, a strong foundation, a support system. And those people are like through thick and thin. You might, fall, trip, but it's up to you whether or not you're going to stay down or are you going to get back up. No, I love my sweater too. Look. And just some new, fresh energy. I feel, I like to motivate and inspire by my life, just lead and guide. So, anyways, that was what my day was about. That was some things, that I discussed is, not only women, but we need to heal our men as well. It almost looks like the road. Listen, I'm all about comfort. Okay, like tomorrow, I'm doing yoga. That's a good thing to incorporate. Yoga helps your breathing. It helps you know, your focus, your mind. It helps ground you. It also, helps your nervous system relax so you can be a better parent. So I'm doing yoga tomorrow with the ladies. 5 boys. Heck yeah, you need a breathing moment. I think personally, boys are easier to raise. I have both boy and girl. And yeah, I haven't pulled any cards or anything, Cherry B. I was just sharing, my experience and some thoughts and things that I had. And like I said, I think it's really a good idea to not just focus on, women. I think it's very important that we focus on our men as well. Men are our leaders. They take charge, but that doesn't mean that they can't be loving and kind. And not that men aren't loving and kind. I think it puts them feeling very, very vulnerable. And that's a scary position for a man to be in, is in a vulnerable emotional state. We don't know what tears, our divine masculines have also cried, because a lot of times they either don't, or they keep it pinned up, or they go in the shower just like women do, but women tend to be more emotional and show our emotional side. So our masculine energies need a safe place more than anything. They need a safe place to be able to grow just like women do. So my passion next is to try to get some funding and some things in line, to help masculines. I'm not want to be gender specific, masculine energies, but it's the truth. There is help out there, and if there's not, then I want to help create and fund and just show them a different way of life. Okay, just show a different way of life. Exactly. We want our men and our boys, the gentlemen that are coming up to be, the real definition of a man. I always tell my son, listen, the one thing that I want you to do, and let me remind you, son, is I want you to treat every woman or girlfriend, or if you get married one day, I want you to treat them with the same respect that you would want your mother to be treated. So if you don't want your mom to be treated a certain way, or talked back to, or ran around on, or cheated on, or, opening up, the door, hauling in groceries by herself after a long day's work, then son, you stand up and you be that man to your better half like you would want me to have. That's what I want to create. That is what I want to create. Loving, kind, considerate. Not always having to be the macho man. You don't have to be that way. It's okay to be a compassionate, emotional person. After all, we are emotions. So I think it's been put on the back burner for way too long. So it's time to do something about it. And I'm going to be that person to do something about it and try to change the world and change that misconception, that people have. And it's no fault of our own. It's no fault of their own. It's just the way society, has turned, and we have to do something if one step at a time. Definitely. If you want, to have a well-rounded life and well-rounded everything, then we have to balance all aspects of our home and environment. And, that's divine masculine energies, divine feminine energies. And I'm not talking about gender, whatever. But we have to learn how to heal. We have to. We have to. I don't want to become like a statistic and, a lost society. I'm tired of us losing. It's time for us to start winning, you know? And I don't want also society to give up on people that's had a hard go. Those are some of the strongest people I know is those that stand up and say, yeah, I need help with this because why I don't know how to do it. So let's teach them, right? Just like I stand here and I teach with you guys, that's what I do at work. Inspiration, the voice of reason, support system, just a peer, PEER, peer support for each other. So y'all keep Mama D, in your thoughts and prayers because I'm just, I'm letting my passion do what it needs to do. And that's help in whatever way that I can. Who knows? I might start something and it might become a trend and take off. That's my hope. I mean, I personally believe that in the United States, as far as I can speak for here, because that's where I live, there should be recovery and residential programs in every state. There should be. There should be something in place in every state for women and men to have a safe, comfortable place to recover from addiction. I mean, if it's so rampant and the government or whomever is like fighting a battle against drugs, well, then damn it, let's stand up and not just get people clean. Let's teach them how to stay clean. Let's teach them how to have life skills. Let's, teach them how to function on a daily basis. You know, it is. It's a war. And if we don't stand up and not just, it's one thing to take the drugs away, it's another thing to learn how to live without the use of drugs. Because for so long, people have numbed themselves. So, like, what is the core issue? What happened to you as a young child that you had to disconnect yourself?
How's it going?
They said it sounds good.
Does it?
Yeah, you can come in. I'm not reading cards. My son, he was asking how it sounds. And they asked me what was my best or my like best part of my day, and I was just sharing with them how I was talking with you that there's not enough help for masculines out there.
Yeah, man. There's not enough men's help. Definitely needs to be a thing.
And I was oops, I
Men
bumped
don't
it.
really have the mental
Yeah,
health care or like the
the
like
support.
support or in this culture and American culture, it's always been men have to be strong, men have to be this, man has to be a man. But it's okay to be in touch with your emotions. I don't think enough as far as the decades go and the generations go that people like the government like the government in itself. Back in the 50s and 60s, they say it was a man's world in a sense, but like you don't take it out of context when somebody says that because say in a man's world, it's always been like I said, you have to be strong, you have to be this, you have to be that. You can't show emotion because emotion is weakness.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability is weakness. But in all reality, we're moving out of that era. There's a different era that's coming, and it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to be, in touch with your emotions. There's nothing wrong with that. Why would there be anything wrong with a person in touch with their emotions and self-aware with what's going on around them and, actually thinks about their actions and what they say or what they do.
Bringing up children, the next generation.
Bringing up children, the next generation. I have my own kid, and that's a big thing. Teach your kids about their emotions. Don't let your kids draw back within themselves because, in all reality, it's not going to help them in the future. It's not going to help them in the future, and it's gonna hurt their self-esteem. It's gonna hurt their reality because perception is reality.
Yeah.
What we perceive is our reality. And that's anybody's reality. It could be your reality, it could be my reality, it could be her reality. But whatever our eyes perceive is what reality really is. If you wake up every single day and you're depressed and there's things wrong with your life, well, there'd be a problem if you weren't depressed about it. I would genuinely be worried if somebody was depressed and they were like, oh, well, it is what it is.
No.
That's wrong. Like, I'm genuinely worried at that point because now you're at the point of numbness. You have to feel you have to feel your feelings.
Yeah.
You have to work through your feelings as a person. As a human being, you have to trust other human beings. Our entire civilization, our entire social structure, our entire everything about human being is based upon trust and based upon people knowing who they are exactly and knowing who they are. So there's my little rant. Y'all have a good night.
There's masculine stepping up, speaking for the others.
I love it, man.
It's okay. Yeah, exactly. Love you.
Love you.
Detached is scary, and that's when, yeah. And then it turns into crime and survival and lots of things. I mean, if we can heal the core issue, which is our emotions, because actually that's what the spiritual journey is all about, right? Connecting with who you are as a person. So that's our spill on it. That I'm trying to change, the perception, even starting, like with my son, to become more aware. Disconnect. It's not okay. You don't have to disconnect. We need connected people. We need to be able to communicate. Open those lines of communication. Let somebody know when you don't feel okay. It's all right to be like, man, I don't feel good today. Like, do you just need a friend, man? You just need somebody to be there? Like, we don't have to do much. Hell, I'll put my pajamas on, or I don't have to change out of my pajamas, and I'll just come spend the day with you. I don't care if we sit down and bawl and squall, and cry. Hell, that's good. Everybody needs somebody. So that's what my day consisted of. Lots of thoughts, lots of things going through my head on how to change and restructure everything. And that is very true, Candace. Some people have it, and I deal with a lot that are coming straight from, institutions. Sometimes you have to lose everything, just like the tower. Things don't happen to you, it happens for you. The whole meaning of the tower card and the tarot, that's a huge change. You have to break down all of those walls and stigmas that we've been taught were okay and the way it should be. And no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So, yeah, that's our little spill. Changing the world like one son at a time, one mom at a time, one self at a time. So, I'm going to pull a card or two, but I just wanted initially to come on here and check the mic and say, hey, mic check, how does it sound? I'm excited. And, just create some more content. Like my channel, yes, I read tarot, but it's overall spiritual healing of everybody. It's no respecter of persons. I welcome everybody who wants a better life. How do we do it? We come together, we talk about these things. We have a therapeutic session. I use tarot to lead and guide of, topics and just life experiences. That's what makes Mama D, separate and different than all the rest. I'm not supposed to be like everybody else. I was born to be different, to lead and guide, and most of all, set an example. So far, just set an example for others. Just give some hope. This white light oracle is screaming at me. This deck is just sitting here like, pick me. So I think I'm going to draw a card from this white light oracle tonight. I don't think I know. I'm going to be drawing a card. Enter the luminous heart of who? The sacred. Who is sacred? We are sacred. We are all sacred beings. It doesn't matter who you are. You were created with purpose. You were created with reason. You were not created in this world to not overcome. You were not created, to fail. We were created to succeed. So if it takes a society, a person, a community, change lives. What are you going to do today to make somebody else's life better? Because I promise you, when you give to others, it makes you feel good. It does. It makes you feel good inside. There's nothing like caring is sharing, okay? Caring is sharing. White light, Oracle. Caring is sharing. Definitely. My soap stool, but it's true. Caring is sharing, tribe. We need to welcome change. Things have been still stagnant, stuck for so long that, you know what? What's not working, it's not working. It's time to do something about it. So, as much as I can, I want to create a revolution of love, of hope, of faith, and get back to who, and what we were created to be. That is my goal. That is ultimately Mama D's goal, is to create a revolution of change. Not saying buck the system. Don't have victim mentality anymore. We are not victims. Growth, inspire, motivate, and by us doing what we're doing and healing and becoming, better people than we are. It all starts with you. It all starts with you. It starts with you. It all starts with you. Starting with the man in the mirror, right? Like Michael MJ said. Starting with the man in the mirror. Powerful messages. Two cards out. And this is a very intense new deck, so I'm going to read a little bit from the book. We have number 8. Bath call. Number 8. Lots of pink, lots of self-love. Energies flowing I see in this card. Look, I can't help it. This, to me, looks like a wrench. A wrench to change, life. We have the keys. Let's provide some tools for fellow man. Let's change the world. One step, one person at a time. Complicated explanations as you seek the simplicity of the deepest truth of your heart. Gently but firmly cast aside that which does not resonate as being true to your heart. Focus upon and speak from a higher spiritual perspective. All prayers are answered at the perfect time and in the perfect way. You have a powerful voice which can foster healing and wisdom of our planet. If that doesn't state Mama D all over it, then I don't know what. The Bath Coil is a mysterious creature. She is an angel known as the Divine Oracle, the daughter of the Divine Voice, the pure, the true sound of spirit. When she whispers to your heart, you feel it as if an inner knowing, a truth. To honor that inner knowing likely requires confrontations of fear or moving in unexpected directions. Even so, the deep resonance of her truth is more powerful than the resistance that we initially feel as we let go of our limited perspectives and allow ourselves to be guided by our spirit. This is always true. There is always healing, there is always harmony with a higher loving path of our universal heart as one. This is working towards the spiritual fulfillment of all of our hearts. For this is a healing sound, the voice of a divine prophecy, which not only tells what shall be, but through speaking in the highest potential, creates blessings which manifests the ultimate gods and goddesses within us. An inner spiritual call may require you just to take a leap of faith. A more authentic, a more awakened you is coming to life. Paving the way for higher selves to manifest. This means that typically fear, control based approaches, these all need to be surrendered. This presence indicates something more appropriate and vital that needs to supersede the expectations and the structures which are currently in place. As consequences, this is a portal of spiritual transformation and yet material manifestations. Honoring guidance requires courage, but this will bring reward on so many levels. I am the voice that is true and that needs to be acknowledged. This is a voice that may be also in your own hearts. This needs to be heard without judgment and without censorship. It may be an intuitive inner knowing to be recognized. This is a loving and helpful voice of reliable guidance and friendships who know that they can be trusted. This is a teaching from a dream, an insight, a meditation, or even just a small inkling that certain things that are happening, these are sights, these are signs from the universe to help all of you on your life path. This is a clear voice of communication between humanity and higher selves, as well as higher beings. I encourage you to practice your power of discernment. Filter all of the ego from your heart. If a point of view lowers your vibration, if this makes you feel negatively about yourself or of another, increase your confusions, it makes matters seem more complicated. This is likely ego driven. Consider what you might be able to learn from viewpoints of others. You need to settle yourself on a more authentic and a spiritual level. I want you to take a moment and disconnect from, the potential distractions. Seek out a sacred and quiet space. When there is room for reflection, you may want to have a journal and journal these things. I call upon the divine voice, the guardians, the luminous communications, clear channels for spiritual truth, a healing grace. Bless us with clarity according to our highest wisdom and mercy, and in divine timing. May we all read the signs and hear a voice of truth louder than all of the others. All beings receive guidance that they need to find their happiness and their freedom. That is beautiful. When the time is right for you, you will have completed your healing process. That's beautiful. That's exactly what we were talking about. Obadiah, number 3. Obadiah. This angel, this person is wrapped in the angels like wings of love. This is going within. It's a transformation. It's a transformation of self love. It's becoming awakened to our personal truths, right? Good, T. Right in it. Whatever comes to mind. It doesn't have to be but a sentence or two. Keep on. I have my journal. Mama D has a journal too. Remember, do not turn away from your path or for what you know, what is in your heart to be true, no matter what appears, no matter what logic may dictate. Trust what is your heart telling you. You are safe and you are protected. You are spiritually empowered, and all you need to manifest to your authentic soul path. You have what it takes to connect with light and live in connection. Live in practical ways, and this will contribute a positive energy to our whole human collective. This also signifies conforming to authority, right? Listening. Hear and do not turn away. Get out of your own way. Often we make things more difficult for ourselves, even when our intentions are good. This is because we see things from a limited or a partial perspective. This doesn't mean that we should refuse to act at all. It just means that we need to practice sensing and following spirit, tuning into your heart. We will act from a more centered and a more wisely guided place. Our actions will be more likely to hit our marks when our consequences have been awakened. That is making mistakes, learning from them, and doing something different. Realize that spirit and you are actually wiser than your own personal opinions. This is a prelude to your own true awakening. The more awakened that we are, the more genuine we benefit for all beings. All beings can unfold through your own endeavors. That's very true on so many levels. When you are authentic, you're showing others how to be authentic. Right? Growing pains. That's what I call it. It's growing pains, spiritual growing pains. Learning how to be true, learning how to be authentic and beautiful. Even all of our imperfections are perfectly imperfect, right? Becoming whole, becoming centered, compassionate, loving, pure. To heck what society has, dictated that one must be. Absolutely not. Don't want to be a statistic, do you? This is the best of the best coming together. Remember, when you heal yourself, then you have a big influence on the universal shift. That's what twin flame energies were actually created to do. It wasn't about union. It was about divine influence and how to, have that self-reflecting mirror, because your twin is also a direct reflection of you. So whatever you despise in them is the things that you need to work on within yourself. And whatever they despise in us is what they need to work on. Really. Masculine and feminine energies. We need to find the balance, right? And come together and create solid, stable humans. That's it. You want to know how to change the world? Change you. Start operating from a higher perspective. Start operating from a compassionate side. Stop being so disconnected. Stop and take a moment and smell the roses. It's okay. We're not perfect. We're all a work in progress. Mama D is a work in progress. I didn't get to where I was overnight. Let me tell y'all what. It took me a long time. Mama D is not perfect. I live a better life today. I lead a better life by example today. But this was not always me. It wasn't. I had to go through that healing and growth process myself, and that shit hurt. It did. It fucking hurt to grow and glow. It wasn't easy. It wasn't just a snap of the fingers. It was a process. But now that I'm healed in so many different aspects, I'm going to reflect that into others, right? We're universal. Whatever each of us do affects the energy and the vibe of the entire universe. Y'all hear my dog? He's over here snoring. Knocked out. That's the peaceful sleep that we want. That's the love and the harmony. Balance is key. It's not just about me. It's about all of us coming together. It really is. It really, 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 really is. All right. Let's go with my first deck, the Chrysalis, today. All right. Since I'm focusing on healing, this was my first deck of healing. Divine, what would you like to elaborate to the collective tonight? I am just your channel. I am just, a open communication line in human form to help inspire others. So what is the message that you would like for me to give of hope and healing and love and light to create a better world? Being teachers, being divine children. What? It's also my Taurus card, the Hierophant. Divine. This is contracts. This is doing away with old ways of thinking, We're protected. Just like a pearl in an oyster shell. Remember that. Nothing. Listen, if you are think about an oyster shell in the deep ocean, it doesn't matter if the winds and the rain and whatever, it doesn't matter, because out of something that was meant, to harm you, it actually creates something really beautiful, something valuable, a pearl. The world is your oyster shell. Make it count. Make it count. New teachings, new ways of life. Overcoming obstacles, overcoming negative energies, following your life path, following the direction. What goes around comes around, having stability, being determined, overcoming addictions, overcoming, traumatic experiences. That's what it's about. Turning pain into power, temperance. Look at the illumination. Turning your pain into power, having patience with your life, having patience with others instead of just popping off. Be understanding, be compassionate, right? Ace of Scrolls talks about the truth, right? There is keys to the soul. There's messages coming through. There is the scroll of life, which has all of your basic rules. Do unto others as you would have them to do unto you. Truth. Messages, loving messages. Knight of Cups, right? It's the dreamer. What's your dream? What did you agree with the Great Council to come down here and do? Stand in your truth. You hold the keys to your own soul. You hold the keys to your own soul. Traveling through life, offering kindness. Not weakness. Being vulnerable is not weak. It's not. Didn't say allow yourself to be taken advantage of, but vulnerability is not weakness. You have to be vulnerable to trust, to love. It takes a lot to make a commitment to other people and hold true and hold steady, right? When I am weak, you are strong. And when you are weak, I am strong. It's give and take, collective. It's give and take. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be times, that I'm going to be frustrated. There's many times, that I'm going to have to be there to help pick others up. But there may be times when y'all come and pick me up and I just feel down and y'all be like, hey, hold on a minute, Mom and D. Like, you have a message. You were here for a reason. You told us that. You got to keep us in check. Got to keep each other in check. Nine of Cups. Nine of Mirrors. This is my Make-A-Wish card in this deck, actually. Emotions, transformation, growth, abundance, magic, a field of sunflowers. See there? The salt of the earth. Tears. Salt of the earth. Absolutely. Getting out of your head. Look, there's eights. Eight of Scrolls, which is getting out of your head, right? About being loyal, being stable, being a leader, being a guider. It's also the mother of the tarot. I work with moms. You guys, your moms, your leaders, you're powerful women. You're the spiritual leaders of your homes. Messages to trust your intuition, right? Emotionally driven, also in charge of your emotions, learning how to master emotions. And it does lead to stability. Look, she's an artist. She's painting her perfect life. She's painting the picture that she wants for all. Because whatever you do affects everyone else. Whatever you do. Even if even if, pardon me, that is showing emotion and showing that it's okay to cry, it's okay to be frustrated. It's how do you cope with those things? What are your coping skills? So when you get angry, are you going to go out there and, assault somebody? Or are you going to go out there and just work your aggressions and frustrations out in a healthy manner? That's why keep becoming creative, getting outside, going for a walk, going to the gym and working out, instead of taking it out on your fellow man or soul tribe or those you live with or your animals, go somewhere and have a healthy outlet. What is your healthy outlet? How do you cope with everyday life? How do you cope? How do you cope with everyday life? How do you cope? When it seems like all is lost, how do you cope? It's okay to break down and cry, but when we're done with the crying and the tears, we got to get some action behind our passion. You meditate. I go for a walk outside. Sometimes I go take a shower and cry. Sometimes I stick my head in a pillow and just let it rip and scream. I call it an adult temper tantrum. At least I'm not out there using, abusing, wrecking cars, pulling, weapons on somebody. Music. Music is a great, great outlet. Music is an amazing outlet. There's all types of music. There's screamo. I mean, there's rock, there's rap, there's jazz, there's blues. Be careful the music that you entertain because it can affect your mood. You lift yourself up. Are you going to go into a rage? Like, seriously. What's your coping mechanisms? What are your coping skills? What do you do for yourself that's going to help you and others? There you go. And that's okay. Dance. I love turning on music and dancing. I love to dance. I do. I'm going to close with the Ferical of the the Oracle of the Fairies, better yet. Oracle of the Fairies. Okay? I have some more decks, but guess what? I actually brought them to work today with me. Yes, I bring tarot to work. Absolutely. It's a tool that I use to help reach others. Can't go to work without your tools, right? If you're a carpenter, you can't go to work without your tools, your saws, you know. If you're a nurse, you can't go to work without your badge and your scrubs. You know, this is my tools. This is what I go to work with. Screaming, listen, I get it. I was on my way, you know, to a local store to pick up my grocery order today, and I had my music turned up, and it was just the best moment of my life. Just enjoying the moment, the music, being present, singing. I hope somebody smiled at me in the car next to me with their tinted windows. I hope they turned their music up and just had a great time too. Experience every moment fully. Make the most of your time. Be mindful and not to waste it. The Time Fairy. Make the best of every moment. Stargazing and being that light. When you gaze at the stars, you're giving yourself focus. Your intuition will flow more freely and reveal what it is that you need to know about your situation and the willingness to change it. Gaze at the stars. Balance oneself. Balance one's soul. Set your sights higher. Look, the White Light Oracle, and the last card that came out was what? Being a light. The being of light comes to shed love and light onto your current situations and reminding you, that light is what penetrates darkness. Light will penetrate darkness. Shine your light that's within. Be true to yourself. Be true to your journey. Be authentic. It's time to take the mask off and show others who you really are. I do. With my dark circles under my eyes from adjusting to schedules. But you know what? It's not stopping me, you know, from giving you hope and inspiration and sharing my daily life. Sharing a message. Becoming what? More balanced. Right? Using our crown chakra, right? Using our pineal gland, using our throat to speak, using our heart to feel, using our sacral chakra to have those gut instincts, to have compassion when others, using our root chakra to experience passion, love, creativity, balance, harmony. That's my hope for everyone here. To live a harmonious life of peace, mercy, and kindness. Fighting the stigmas, right? Good night, Priscilla. Absolutely. We are going to change the world. I'm going to start the process, and you guys are going to go with the flow and start the process with me, okay? Hey, Ebony, you got to go back and rewatch seriously, I was talking about how we're going to change the world together. One thing and one step at a time. You're welcome. Absolutely. You're good, baby. At first, it was just a mic check, and that's always how it happens. It was a mic check to see if you guys could hear me, and I'm excited. I'm going to go back and listen and see how this mic sounds. I haven't heard it. This is like a first time go for Mama D, but I've heard that it sounds good, and I appreciate, those of you, that have sent me gifts. Stacy's, she's amazing. I put things on my wish list, and yeah, y'all are helping bless me with ways of, getting my own personal truth and my own message out for all. So I know I look a little bit tired, and I'm okay with that. I'm not in it for the looks. I'm in it for all the gains. So I love you guys. I know it was short. I didn't do a lot of cards tonight, but it's all right. The message is clear, right? The message is clear. Remember, be that white light. Be that in-between person. Be the voice for others who can't. That's our mission. I love you guys so much. Thank you. I'll be back tomorrow. Like I said, my schedule's changed. It's hard for me to go live early in the mornings. It'd be 6 o'clock in the mornings, but we'll see. I'm adjusting my schedule. It'll be all right. I'm not going anywheres. Are they good mics? Well, I'm fixing to go back and listen to it. So I love you guys. And I'll be back tomorrow with some more content. Thank you everybody for joining. Good night.